who is running these questions by the next person that's running the team, if that's in case is the scenario? Like, is it Keith Pelly? And that's what I don't understand. How does Keith Pelly know what needs to go into a hockey organization?
Well, he doesn't have a history of it, clearly. He's a business guy.
I know.
He's a marketing
he came from
guy.
a DP World Tour.
Yeah.
How is he going to give directions to somebody in hockey saying this is the direction and this is what you need to focus on as far as an NHL team? I don't care how smart the guy is. I don't care how many businesses he's been in. It doesn't make you a hockey expert because you were a smart guy and you've ran a bunch of important things.
No, that's true.
Like,
I mean, I would argue it's the guy above him that's been in sports more than Keith. You know, like Rogers owns the team and they own the Blue Jays. They've owned them they've been in sports a long, long time.
Yeah.
Right? And ultimately it's their call. You know, like Pelly's got to go up too. Pelly's got to pitch to a board, hey, this is where, especially with the crown jewel and the Leafs. You know, because there's a weird vibe in the city right now. Again, it's just
no kidding. Don't forget Keith Pelly's comments as soon as he took over and fired Channy. He's like, our only goal is championships.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you're one of the worst teams in the league. So how do you explain that?
Right.
But don't you think the GM, whoever it is, whether it's Brad or someone else, they have to present their plan to Pelly and company? I think you got to say, this is what I want to do.
Of course.
Like,
but Strud, the question is, do you believe, let's say it's in Tree Living's best interest to say, I got this all wrong, right? Like, I know what I told you last time we met because I had to pitch it to you 12 months ago that we'd win, right? Get rid of Shanny. I can take care of it. Marner's gone. It doesn't matter. Me and Craig are going to get this thing right and we're going to win this year. And then they have the most disappointing season they've had in over a decade. Can you go back in and say, my bad, but we're going to blow this thing up. Give me 5 years. I don't know.
5 years is a long time.
That's
a long time.
That's what's scary about it, and no one wants to address the elephant in the room, is that might actually be the best course of action. And it would be very difficult, and that's what sucks, is it's been a decade of, positivity for the most part. Yes, they've had crushing losses in the playoffs.
Yeah, been a real good team for 10 years.
Yeah, and now
they have,
it's maybe, like the Panthers, that Game 7 was kind of the death blow of the era. It very well could have just, that's the death blow.
Looking back. But imagine that, how hard it was to acquire Matthews, Nylander, Marner, like how hard it was to get to
because you know why it's hard, Struddy? Because moving forward, you draft these guys and there's no guarantees they turn out.
And they don't even have their pick, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They don't have their pick this year. The Phillies got their pick next year, I believe it is. That's the problem. For Lawton. They traded a first for Scott Lawton.
They're the Flyers. They're the
Flyers.
Yeah.
Philly. What did I say?
You said the Phillies.
Yeah,
Phillies. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. They don't have it. So but that's the problem. So how do you turn this thing around with that? You've got to draft like crazy with the small draft picks you have, or find free agents who can stay with it. They can fill this gap.
Yeah.
It's
tough,
a tough man. You guys are depressing me.
No,
You're making me depressed.
I don't
about
want
the
to.
Leafs.
Let me be clear. It's the last thing I don't want to be in this era. It sucks. It's awful with what's. But Craig just laid it out. Like there's not a lot of impact on this team. There's not a lot going on. They have no prospects, no picks. Free agency is only so much. Trading, you can't just make up trades. They don't happen a lot in the league. It's not the 80s and 90s anymore. You can make a 10-player deal or whatever. You can't just pay anyone any kind of money.
Yeah, and Hayes, God forbid you're moving away from players that you paid first-round picks and prospects for. Like, what would you get for Brandon Carlo right now on an open market? Connor Murphy, like Struddy, you're a defenseman. Would you say Connor Murphy would be in higher regard in the National Hockey League over Brandon Carlo?
So a second rounder, they're probably the same. I think Carlo.
No, I'm just asking about Connor Murphy and Brandon Carlo. Would you say Connor Murphy would be held in higher regard?
I'd say they're at best equal, right? I think they're at best equal.
Okay, well, that guy just went to Edmonton for a second-round pick.
Yeah, Carlo's younger and he's got a year left. So maybe you get a first. You're not getting the equivalent of first in Minton, though. Like, that's not going to happen.
No, that was a dear price to pay.
Yeah, that one stung. And it's Boston. And now if they keep sinking, they might hand over the 7th, 8th, 9th pick in the draft. It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough one right now in Toronto.